Hi, this is Jürgen from IBH Systems in Munich, and today I'm going to show you how we use Eclipse SCADA to bring a value from a sensor to the user interface. What we basically have here is a light sensor attached to an Arduino. The Arduino is connected via the Ethernet shield with our office network, and on it runs a custom UDP-based protocol which we made specifically for Arduino. Jens will now put a sheet of paper in front of the sensor, and what we'll see is that the value changes immediately, and since we have an alarm on it, it will also be marked with red. This is an overview about the architecture of this specific system. On the bottom we have the sensor attached to the Arduino. The next level is the driver, which runs on a virtual machine in our office, and it connects via UDP to the Arduino, and in turn provides an Eclipse SCADA DA NGP endpoint. This is our internal protocol. Our demo server is hosted in a data center, and it runs a master server and an archive, and the master server itself uses the DA NGP protocol to connect to the driver in our office. The client can run anywhere, and it uses the same protocol to connect to the demo server, or specifically the master server and the demo server. And this is pretty much an architecture which is pretty close to something which we'll find in an actual industrial implementation, with the difference that normally there are a lot more devices connected. I'm going to show you some more features. We've seen already the level alarm, which can also be configured as a warning, as we can see here. Then it's yellow. Another important thing is the detection of connection loss. For this, Jens will disconnect the Arduino, and what we'll see is that the value turns magenta, which is our color to indicate an error condition. After reconnecting the board, it will take a moment, and the value is there again. So, some more features of the user interface. In SCADA terms, it's called HMI, Human Machine Interface, but whatever. We have here the overview about the whole plant site, whatever we have, with all the devices. In this case, our only real device is the Arduino. For each device you can configure detail dialogs. In this case, it only contains one item. Every item which is contained in the detail dialog will be shown in the item list, where we have some more informations, the primary value or the attribute values, and each item itself comes with a generic detail dialog where you have all the information about the single item, and where you also can, for instance, change the values of the level alarms. So let's change it to 8,000, and this means since 15,000 is the one level, and now we've changed the low level to 8,000, the alarm disappears and is only a warning anymore, and we change it back and it is an alarm again. And we also see it's marked in red again. So another thing, what you could do, you could configure an archive for each value you're interested in, and this can be used to display historical data. What the archive also does is it keeps the information if the value was valid in the given time frame, so you can distinguish between, let's say, no value has changed and there was, let's say, a connection loss or whatever. You can, if you haven't configured the archive for a value, you can also just have a look at the current values and display it there. There it is. So the few pixels up there. It's difficult to navigate it with the trackpad and still have the camera in hand. So there we have it. What we can see here is that the sensor delivers its values in a very quantized way. So there are definite jumps in the value, which can easily be seen here. The blue line is supposed to be the now time. What we can actually see here that the value is ahead of the time, so it means that there's a difference in the clocks between the server and the client. So one feature, for instance, is also the scaling, where you can multiply with the scale value, and you can also add an offset. And we just add 500 to see if something happens, and we see that we have here a jump in the value of 500. So it jumped from I think 8,000 to 8,500. No, from 8,500 to around 9,000. So this can, of course, be set back to 0 again. And we see in the chart that the value is now back on the original value. With rounding, and the level alarms we've seen already. And an important part is setting a manual value. So a manual value is indicated in blue, which is not shown right now because we have an alarm on the value. So if we remove, still the warning, if we remove the alarms, then we will see that the manual value is there. Okay, setting back to the original, and now it's gray, which means everything's fine. An important part of each SCADA system is the ability to view the alarms of the system in an overview. So it's empty in our case, so because we removed the level alarms, so just putting one in again. Was 10,000, I think. So it immediately appears in the alarm list. So all alarms are gathered here. To see what happened in the past, there's the event list. Since the alarms are basically a state machine, on each state change it creates an event, and the event then gets put into the event list. So we can also see that we set the manual value. So we leave it at that and have a look at the configuration of the system. The configuration basically consists of two larger models. One is the component model and one is the infrastructure model. The infrastructure model defines all the servers, the devices, and how they are connected. And the component model contains the definition of a hierarchy and the items and components and how they're connected to the infrastructure. So what we see here is we have the demo server, we have our internal server where the driver is running, and we have the external node, which is the Arduino. And we will see here that we have the levels, we have the ES, demo, the Arduino, and under the level Arduino is the actual external value, which is called Lux in this name. And the master server can be configured to be responsible for one specific level and everything below it. So, if you want to know more about Eclipse SCADA, just have a look at www.eclipse.org/Eclipse SCADA. If you want to know how to set up your environment to get started with Eclipse SCADA, just have a look at the wiki. There's a Getting Started section, and there's an explanation about it. And if you want to know more about the demo system, this is also available within the wiki. Just go to the front page of the wiki and click on Getting Started Demo System. I thank you for your attention, and I hope that you will give Eclipse SCADA a try, and just if you have any question, contact us. We'll be there. Thank you.